this market can go higher. But, and I mean but, we have some obstacles in the way. We're going to go over that and much more. Let's go. Hello, this is Michael Loftus with Wealth and Wisdom TV, where education is the key to a successful financial future. First up, sorry, haven't been around, little crazy. That's right, 3 kids in college this year. Florida, Arizona, Pennsylvania, yikes, lot going on. Brought on a new advisor, got to get that thing going along, so haven't had a lot of time to do videos. But hang in there. November, we got a lot of stuff coming. We got live shows. We got podcasts. I recorded 3 educational videos the other day. So lots of material coming up. So please do make sure that you subscribe. Now, what's going on out there? A lot, right? Markets, though, end of quarter, end of month, sideways, right? Really, it's been a flat, anemic type of quarter. That being said, there are some signs that tell us we can go higher, but there's also a lot of those obstacles. Let's talk about those. Let's go to the big board. All right, let's get started. Going to do a little bit different this time. So what's happening out there that can derail everything? First off, you probably heard about the Evergrande thing, Evergrande, which is the company in China, kind of a non-event. Should be contained based on the fact that all the bonds are held by China, right? FedEx to raise rates the most in a decade. So inflation, even the Fed's finally admitting that. Jeremy Grantham, I worked with Jeremy for a brief time on the corporate side. U.S. stocks are in a magnificent bubble. That's this morning, okay? How worried should we be about the debt ceiling? Obviously, another big issue coming up. I mean, look, I'm not going to downplay this. We've been here before. Generally gets worked out, but it still is something that the market's worried about. You know, something happened last week. Kaplan down as Dallas Fed after Rosengreen. So let me tell you, Federal Reserve, I've always talked about the book Fed Up. I have a link below. Great book about the inside of the Federal Reserve. It is a dirty organization, okay? Number one, it has been driven by and really run by these big corporate guys. The majority of them are Goldman Sachs guys. Now, Powell's a Carlyle guy. But essentially, these two guys, Fed chairs, going in these meetings and they're buying options, S&P options, millions of dollars at a time. Absolutely unethical, quite frankly, disgusting. We can get that and you can make your own opinion. And the last thing down here in the corner is showing you what we anticipate taper to be. Now, if you look, it's going to start sometime in December. So that's one of the reasons why I feel we have some run left. But we definitely have some short-term issues that we have to address. Now, haven't shown this to some of our YouTube viewers. So Ray Dalio, when you look at our process, got a lot of things going on. But I think the most important thing is what he talks about is, right, when you're looking at, in a particular environment, rising growth, rising inflation, rising growth, rising inflation, right? That now is going to come together and really equate into our cycles. I'm going to move past that one. So where are we? We were definitively in cycle 2 starting in November of 2020. But Q3 this year, we transitioned, and it really looked like we were heading into stagflation. So in that case, inflation continues to accelerate, absolutely, but then growth would roll over. And you saw that in definitely the Treasury market, and that's going to be our indicator going forward. So it has been very muddled, but right now, feel that we are in cycle 2, which is growth should accelerate, not a lot, but a little bit, at least through the end of the year. And of course, inflation's going to accelerate as well. Now, let's apply this to the big charts. Okay, so first up, we're going to talk about our signals, long-term, midterm, and short-term. Monthly chart, right? What do you see here? Well, you see something we haven't seen in a while. Oh my goodness, a negative month. Now, we still have a day. I'm recording this early, meaning on Wednesday after market. Got to get through compliance and hopefully hit the weekend. So this is something that's interesting. Momentum's come down a little bit, but still very much positive. Now, we've talked about this. Okay, there's two things here. Each of these show how much we are from the 200-day moving average. We're down to about 29%. Momentum has crossed down. We've crossed over here. So both of those give you, for the first time in a long time, a negative signal, okay? It's a little bit muddled because we got a lot going on right now, but I'm going to call this neutral. And then we have our daily, so our short-term view. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out. Kind of tough to see maybe, but here, right, all of these represent our pullbacks. We still have not hit a 5% pullback throughout this run, okay? Now, yesterday, we got down to 4.2% down from all-time highs. Have a little bounce today, so we'll see where this ends up. You know, right now, again, I'm not going to call it positive because I can't. Momentum's not pulling up. We are seeing a bounce off relative strength. I do think we go higher once we get through some of these things. But for now, again, neutral. So positive, neutral, neutral, very unusual for us, okay? You know, the other thing that holds me back, this shows stocks in the S&P, those companies over the 50-day moving average. Trying to see over here with my bad eyes, just 33%. That is really, I mean, look at this, right? You peak, lower, lower, lower. So that is definitely a concern. We're not really seeing strength in this market. So next up, let's take a quick look at the sectors. All right, you hear me say it often. You get the dollar right, you got a lot of things right. Now, we looked at the dollar go down, especially in cycle 2. We had this counter trend move here, which was showing us a potential for cycle 3. Now, tiny little breakout, okay? I think the dollar still goes lower, to be determined. So why is the dollar so important when you look at the big picture? There's a couple things. One, down in the bottom, CRB index, right? That's your inflation call. Look at that. That is up massive, 114% from its low last May. We have peaked somewhat, but it has stayed very much sticky, okay? Oil, okay? Oil has had a big run this month. Again, dollar down, inflation. You see it continue up. Can we go to 75 a barrel? Who knows? Some people say yes, 100. A lot to be determined there, but oil continues to be a good place to be. Okay, so we know about the dollar. You get it right, you get a lot of things right. But then you get the Treasury right, you also get a lot of things right. What do I mean by that? I've always said the Treasury market is smarter than the overall market. It's going to lead us to where we're going. Now, over here was when we started cycle 2 back in November. We peaked about 1.7 and change on the 10-year. So yields go up, prices go down. You lose money in treasuries, bonds, right? Not a good thing that you want to be part of. So as things have changed, we kind of started going down again, and you can see it. That was our sort of cycle 3 move down here. We went down as low about 1.2, but then all of a sudden, guess what? Started forming that base, and boom, we broke out. We've broken out to a new high, okay? So we've seen higher lows, higher lows is the most important thing, right? So we're going up in the up direction. That is another indicator of cycle 2 coming into play, okay? So let's talk about what we need to do. I mean, right now it's quarter end. You got a lot going on. You got this debt issue, okay? It's not a bad time to raise some cash and be patient. Yes, I think we're in cycle 2, but if you look at the last week, it has been real choppy. So be patient, take your time, think there's going to be opportunities there. But at the same time, remember at the beginning, when we start slowing down at the end of the fourth quarter, when we start tapering, oh boy, whole nother ball game. We're going to talk about that at that time. And like I said, we've got some new shows, podcasts. We'll make sure we keep you informed. Thanks for watching. Michael Loftus, Wealth and Wisdom TV.